Do you ever sit and wait until you feel inspired to take any action? I can't tell you how many different things in the universe right now are showing me how the way forward with anything new, existing, is to commit to the practice of doing that thing. I want to tell you a little bit of a story today about a guy I just met on Facebook named Tyler Ward. He is an artist. And I'll let you find him on Facebook, and you can kind of bounce around his world. He had some songs that just did the thing way back and made a bunch of money and has stayed a creator ever since, but never had anything that sort of took off after that. In fact, he had several years in between, several by several I mean like 7 or 8, where nothing seemed to hit. Like he was creating content and nothing seemed to do the thing. I found him a couple of days ago through a viral song video that he wrote about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and it's a great little song. Like, after 3 times of listening to it, it was hooked in my head. I'm like, "That's a good song." But the reason I bring him up is I was just on his page and I was watching one of his videos, and he also just gets on camera every day and makes a video about the creative process. And if you guys have been paying attention to me lately, I am obsessed with the creative process. I want to read this little segment out of a book by Seth Godin that you can find on my book list, crystaljoycrawford.com/reads. It's a tiny little section. It goes, "Creativity is an action, not a feeling." Marie Schacht points out that we can't always do too much about how we feel, particularly when it's about something important, but we can always control our actions. Your work is too important to be left to how you feel today. On the other hand, committing to an action can change how we feel. If we act as though we trust the process and we do the work, then the feelings will follow. Waiting for feeling is a luxury we don't have time for. Now, I've been preaching this for years without knowing anybody else was saying the same thing. But what I've been experiencing, and I'm saying it out loud just in case you are going through anything similar, is a massive change in what used to make creating exciting. And you could in your life or in my life, we could probably both go back and try to figure out why that change occurred. Or we could just know that the change occurred. And which is where I landed. I'm like, okay, the change occurred. So what now, right? What's next? And that's the only thing that's relevant. And Tyler, the reason I brought up Tyler at the beginning, talked about today how, I forget when, but at some point he was like, am I going to start taking my own advice and putting out a video every day? So at some point he just said, look, whatever comes of it, whatever the results are, I'm going to commit to putting out one video per day. And he talks about how for years he got lots of like very few views on his videos. Like they were really, really low, where for a while they were really high, they were really low. So he went through this period where whatever had made it exciting to create before, all the people rushing into all his stuff, was, with that being gone, that thing that made it exciting was gone. He had to then just commit to the thing, knowing that it was doing something for him. The end. And this is striking me in a really different way. This is striking me different right now, which is why I want to talk about it. With whatever it is that you want to create in the world, and this is day 5 of the 30-day coaching setup challenge video thing. We are, all of us right now, setting up to do a thing. You out there may be wanting to do a thing, build a business, change your life, change with your body, change your finances, whatever it is. So with whatever it is that you want to do, what practice could you start that would change that thing in the time that it took when it could? And I think the thing that I'm realizing about me, and I think is true for a lot of us, is that for most of us, if we don't get that immediate feedback from the world that that thing that we're doing is good and that other people like it, we stop doing that thing. And I'm recognizing that the road to something greater, we've been talking a lot about 2x and 10x. The road to something greater is that persistent activity, the persistent shipping of our work, as Seth puts it, out into the world, even when we don't really know what the fuck we're doing. Because it turns out that it isn't so much that your work is a gift, although it is, it's that you are a gift. And your willingness to put you in the world, shipping you, which is the work, out into the world, changes the world. And at some point, something tips. I found Tyler Ward from a video that this song he got inspired to write one day that he was iffy about whether or not he was going to finish or put out or make into a real thing, because you know how ideas and songs are. They come in a whiff and you get this inspiration, but then they're like partially done, partially baked. And you have to sit with it and go, am I actually going to finish this thing and get it out into the world? And he tells that story. And I'm like, yeah, that's like actually right where I've been for a lot of my life. And also most recently with a book that I've got like 65% of the way done, with a program that I'm building as we do it, with like, am I going to sit with this thing and do what it takes to get you out into the world? Well, what if nobody likes it? What if I do all this work and it doesn't have the desired result? And it turns out that doing creative work isn't about the desired result at all. It's about the commitment to me and what it is that I'm going to get from being that diligent and persistent with me and what I want to art out in the world. So I want to encourage you today. Your work is too important to be left to how you feel today. Committing to an action can change how you feel. If we act as though we trust the process and we do the work, then the feelings will follow. Waiting for a feeling is a luxury we don't have time for. And that's written by Seth Godin, who every single day writes a blog. He's got like 9,000 different little blogs out in the world. He just sits down and he writes every day. I was doing the writing every day via email. I'm going to choose something else. I've replaced it with doing a video every day. But my commitment is that I ship some form of creative work out into the world every day, no matter what it takes. So you are not me, and you are not Tyler, and you are not Seth. You're you. What is the practice that you could choose that would ship your work out into the world, that would get the effect that you are just naturally walking around out into a greater ecosystem for other people to partake, taste, sample, see if they love it? And what would it take to choose it? If you want to get a copy of the books that I'm reading right now that are absolutely changing the game, go to crystaljoycrawford.com/reads. There's literally 32 titles on there that are changing my life, have changed my life. You are welcome to them. And otherwise, share this with a friend who needs to be encouraged today to get their work in the world, and I'll see you tomorrow.